Good morning, everybody. If you bow your heads for a moment of prayer. Almighty God, we invoke a blessing upon this occasion of Rotary Fellowship. Make us aware of the deeper significance of our meeting as we develop our friendships as the source of Rotary service radiating from this community to the wider community beyond. Amen. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you'll join me in the saying of the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do.
First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Okay, guys, as usual, there's not a whole lot going on out there in Rotary world. We do have the conference coming up April 30th to May 1st, and Sharon has shared numerous times the ticket or the page to get the tickets for the conference and the page to get the tickets for the gift basket, the raffle basket, and it is valued at $5,000 plus.
And several people from our club have purchased tickets.
Yes, I need to get on. I got on and got stopped partway through work the other day, and I forgot again. So I got to get on there and do that. So it's well worth, spending a little bit. That's quite a basket to win. All kinds of cards, and it's not
The cards in my
very
hot little hands,
specific.
and they're amazing.
What's that, Sharon?
I have the cards in my hot little hands, and they're amazing.
So you've actually got the feel of them.
I know. I'm looking, I'm going, that's a good idea.
The Helping Heroes, we touched on it briefly, last meeting. We were going to set a time. Actually, I forget what we put.
It only allowed me 2 weeks, so I was going to stop it on April 23rd, but I think it had made me stop it on the 22nd because you're only allowed.
Was it a Facebook thing?
I did a Facebook event page through Rotary.
I did not see that, so I need to look
I
that
saw
up.
it, and I shared it, and I will see it again. I
Okay.
need to share it again.
We probably haven't received any drop-offs, have we?
Not at Main Street.
I put the Sleep In and Main Street.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look that up and get it out there, and then I'll tell the girls at work too.
It's on our Facebook.
Yes, on the Moundsville, it's an event page.
Okay, the fundraiser, which is our topic that we really need to focus on. Joni had done some research, and she found out that Yeti actually has a fundraising option. So if Joni would like to tell us a little bit about that.
Well, with the help, I started looking it up, and then I talked a little bit to Brianna, who had a meeting this morning and wasn't sure if and when she could pop in. Basically, you have to be a nonprofit organization. You provide a copy of your 501c, and tax exempt, everything. However, the item has to be valued at $350 after the discount, meaning you can't get a $350 item and then it's $200, and I don't know what discount they give. So I did a lot of there's some paperwork that needs to be involved. Basically, I found, first of all, Coleman Grill. It's portable. It folds down, and yet it stands, so you don't need a table to put the grill on or anything. I found it at 2 or 3 different places. All places were $249.99. So it seemed to have some pretty decent rates, or people liked it. Comes in black, red, and all that. Now the cooler that I first found is it's a Yeti. It's $400. Now that would be a good one. It's one of the only ones that it's on wheels. So it's a newer one of the Yeti coolers. However, again, if they give you $50, then we're not at $350. You know, I mean, they go all kinds of sizes. I mean, I wrote down measurements the whole bit. The next size is 449. The next one's 105, 479. And the final one is 500. Now, we could get much larger, but I knew we wouldn't be doing anything more than that. I did just, even if we didn't get the big discount, or we chose something a little smaller, one of the big ones and nice sizes, it is $349.99, and it's a very popular size. There's the 300 and the 350 are the two regular normal sizes that most people get. However, they do go larger. So with this being said, I told Brianna we probably should at least try if we could get some sort of discount, but we also have to know we have to spend $350 for sure.
But if we advertise a $500 cooler,
Exactly.
I mean,
Oh yeah. No, I'm not. I just want
that
us.
would be awesome.
I just want us to be aware that it's going to be, and that's not.
We've got to
tax
spend
code.
money to make them.
Exactly. So with that being said, Brianna has started the. She has started the process. I did get from Josh she didn't have the 501c3 determination letter. I need to have somebody to sign this letter, Stacy. And then I will copy and send it to her. But the one thing that we do need is a flyer of some sort advertising the event. So, I mean, we could make up the date, and I don't mean make it up, but if we end up not doing, say we say June 1, but we can't end up doing it till July 1.
Right.
I'm sure they're not going to be upset. They're just knowing that we've had to make some adjustments to the timing and everything. But we need some sort of advertising event. Doesn't have to be super detailed, but we do need something. And so that needs also to be part of the application. Is anybody creative enough to throw a flyer together real quick?
If you give me the details, yes. Just email the details to me and I'll have it made this afternoon.
You sure?
Oh, yeah. I got a girl who does that.
Karen has people.
We like Karin.
I'm actually meeting with my graphic artist after this meeting, so I'll just give her the details, and honestly, this is easy for her.
Okay, and I'll
Thank
get
you.
your email before we leave. The thing is do we want to advertise that we're doing a grill and the Yeti cooler? I mean, humor me guys, I'm trying, I think the grill is $250. If we spend another now $400, we're at $650 before we start. But I don't know, is just the Yeti cooler gonna go along? I don't know.
Probably. I mean, it's coming up to summertime. Those things are nice.
And it
Really
wouldn't cost
nice.
I mean, I really want that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
I would
like
like
tickets for
that.
Yeah.
Well, the tickets, I think, if we do them at $10,
I think what we did like we did before, $10 suite, 3 for $20. I don't buy 3. They'll only buy one at $10.
Yep, you're exactly right.
But they'll spend 20 instead.
and then we also thought we would put items in it, like the Rotary itself could put items in it.
Each member donates.
I think we should just do
We
the cooler and
like
put stuff in it.
Okay, you want to do just the cooler. And
My
the
thought.
proceeds are going to go towards our, I think should go to our wellspring. They go
Well,
to our grant.
No,
What should it go to?
all of our community projects, so that's what we funded with.
All community projects.
Yeah.
But I will need a few to list.
Scholarships, Wellspring, Soup Kitchen, whatever it's called.
Relay
What's
for
it
Life.
called?
Relay for Life.
Night to Shine.
Night to
Night to
Shine.
Shine.
I have a
Yeah, we have a list.
I have a list of everything.
Oh, yay. That's gonna be shorthand, but I won't do shorthand.
I try and I get to work.
You could keep
What
it.
is that? How did I abbreviate that? There might be a few things not on there, Jody.
That's all right, but I think
Snyder.
they're not
Like,
gonna
I don't
want
think Night to Shine is on
Short
there.
books that she was taking in college, and I can't remember
But I don't know if we're gonna be able to, on a
Coffee.
flyer, do
Does
we
she
wanna
have
list
one?
20 item things that we do, or?
No, when we advertised our fundraisers before, we just said, all of this funds our community projects, like something, all money will be spent in our community, including,
Include, yeah,
and then just list a few of the
Yeah,
things
that's
that
what
really
I'm
get
saying.
people.
okay.
Okay, so do we need a motion for the?
And what date,
Fundraiser.
you know what, I'm saying, let's do June 16th, that gives them 2 weeks, because if I read right, it's 6 to 8 weeks, like, you know what I mean, so.
6 to 8 weeks to receive the cooler.
Well, I have to read that.
And we technically don't need it to sell tickets until the,
If we sold it earlier and it was here earlier, I think we do it,
But
but
if not, we'll have a picture of it anyway.
mm,
it's it gives us 2 months
So
to get the tickets
For
or
mid-June.
however, let me see, where is the 6 months? I'm sorry, grown shipping. Oh, custom, we don't need a custom. You can put actually a school logo and stuff like that. Maybe it isn't. No, I think we could do June 1st if we want. It's up to you guys.
June 16th is a Wednesday, so we can always pick the winner that day at the meeting.
It sounds cool.
But that wouldn't be when we started though.
Yeah,
That
I was
would
gonna
be,
start it.
Oh, gotcha.
Which we could give out the tickets and everything that way,
Right.
because we would be at a meeting. And then.
Or we could do
you
them.
want to do it all summer?
But it's gonna be a bigger draw. People are winning in the summer, though, right?
That's why I'm thinking we should start June 1.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we should start it probably sooner.
Let's start June 1. If we start earlier, we can. If it comes in and we can just say we have to adjust it to our
Right.
schedule. They just need some basic information that we are truly doing that.
Cool.
I interject something.
You sure can.
Absolutely.
Cooler. Okay, we're looking at cooler grill. Yet he's given.
We don't know, we have no idea.
They're gonna give a discount. Do we see to go out to the masses to sell tickets? Do we do a cooler? Doesn't have to be a gigantic Yeti cooler. Yeti cooler. It could be a Coleman cooler, a grill, and a meat bundle in there, where you can come back on the cost of everything. You don't have to, the Yeti, with what they're gonna give, you don't have to go there. You can buy, you may be able to buy a Yeti cooler, a smaller Yeti cooler, and save money to put it into different bundles. And then you're just looking, a Yeti cooler, you're looking at one group. Everyone has to eat in the summertime with meats and everything and grilling out. There's something else in there, and you could probably sell more tickets.
How about, and the meat bundle?
And in the meat
I mean,
bundle.
like the cooler, and, because I like,
Cooler,
I like the cooler because
meat
we'll have-
bundle, and a grill in there. The expensive things are your Yeti cooler and a meat bundle. Mickless is, I think, $129 for a meat bundle. The executive meat bundle, I think, is $129, $139 area, where you can still have the Yeti cooler, but decrease the size of the Yeti cooler.
If we have the $300 cooler, okay, that's, the most popular size is called the 65 hard cooler, and this is a 45 cooler. Dimension wise, it's 5 inches shorter, it's about an inch shorter in height and an inch shorter in length. I even did the measurements, I just went,
wow.
Thank you, Jill.
so, I mean, if we did that, you have 300, you do the grill, which is, now you're at 550, yes, but you're still at $600-700. I mean, I'm game for anything, I'm just,
I wish we knew how much of a discount they would give us.
yeah,
Because it's gonna be like $50, that's not a big deal. It's gonna be a couple hundred, that's a big deal.
well, we will apply for this, and then I can find out, but again, remember, we still have to spend, you know, $350.
I'm just
With
thinking,
the
if we spend
discount.
$350, but we can advertise a $500 cooler, that's gonna get us more sales. But I love the meat bundle
But I
The
will
meat
tell you
bundle,
that,
what it is kind of neat.
I don't know about you, I mean, we're downsizing, you are too. I mean, Josh, you know, the $500 one is huge. I mean, like, it's huge. I don't know how many people can use that large of a cooler. I mean, a certain group could use the $500.
I know Karen was pretty excited about it.
Well,
But she has 3 boys.
The little smaller one would be a little easier to take to the ball games.
Yeah. That's why I'm thinking even, I don't know how much larger we want to go because really to fill it would cost us a fortune because it's huge. I did not do the dimensions on those 3 sizes because they just progressively get larger. The one that could almost be the back of your truck, like a tool, it's that big.
And you gotta think about people taking that and transporting it.
I
Yeah.
can't imagine that I could put that in my car. Now Josh has a truck, he could take it, you know, do you see, that's my concern. So the one that is the most bought, that's easy for anybody, everybody, are the 300 and the 350. So that's why, but I thought, why not try the South East, even if we don't get it? But that's my concern.
Well, that's a good point.
You're saying we have to spend.
Yeah, that's why I'm not sure that doing this, we have to, why not try it? Just because, it doesn't hurt us.
Right.
But my other thoughts are, you have to get a really large one to get this discount and to fill it, and how many people really could use that large? I mean, Sharon, you couldn't lift it and put in your car, and I don't mean that, I couldn't either.
Right.
Do you see, so it's a great gift,
We can't use it.
but how many?
Unless you're having a party at your house and
Yeah,
have a
house
set
party.
on your board, on
Exactly.
your deck with it filled. That's not one you probably want to tote around.
So I think that you just need a flyer to get this ball rolling. So
Exactly.
it's like get the basic flyer, and this probably isn't even the flyer we're gonna use.
Exactly.
Just get it started and apply for it, and then I do like the idea of multiple items. I mean, it's not always in. Too.
See, I do too, I kind of like
Makes
the
it,
package
makes it
deal.
more attractive. Another thing we need
A
to,
cooler, a meat bundle, and a grill sounds really
It
enticing.
does.
I think if you do the meat bundle, the grill kind of goes with it.
Yeah, I don't like the beer, but I mean, it'll
Now, I
tea
have
for
a
me.
question. We're not, are we doing sponsors like we have before?
that was gonna be my next point, is we need to have an event surrounding this, and we need to solicit corporate sponsors.
Because I know, I haven't asked my boss, but I know that I can. I mean, I'd be willing to do a sponsor. I don't know if I'd do the full grill or, you know, but I'd be definitely willing to be a sponsor. And if we had a few people sponsor, even though the cost of this could be $750, let's just say $750. We choose the 300, the 250, so you're at $550, and that's not tax. And then 150 for the meat. You know, you're what, $700
I
But
can't make the decision, but I would say Main Street.
would
I
probably
can
do so.
probably
Yeah. But you see
something.
where, so
We
I'm,
could do 250.
so I'm saying, you know, if we had a few sponsors, that gets us started
Right.
right away. And so now the
That
items,
price doesn't sound
it doesn't
so.
sound so overwhelming.
Right.
It depends, I mean, if we're gonna have, we've always had an event where we've had sponsors, where we.
Right.
It's a shame to not try to get sponsors for this fundraiser. Yeah, I don't know how we incorporate sponsors into the drawing.
Well, I think on the back of my bag, to the people we've done it, the big, you know, gold, silver, and whatever, but you've got people who, I mean, you're willing, I'm willing, maybe, you know, but you get 5 or 6 sponsors, and you just say, and, you know, and thanks to, and they don't have to know that, my company's not gonna worry about whether we spend 100 or 250 or 500, the acknowledgement part, let's put it that way. If you just know that the 4 or 5 companies are being sponsors, I think just, you know, acknowledging them on the final flyers,
Yeah,
on
all the
the
marketing.
On the
Facebook,
anything,
all the
yes.
marketing. And you just say who the sponsors are. No one has to know who gave what
Right.
and what level they are. As long as your company knows and you're aware that you're not going to be advertised for being a platinum versus the
Right.
bronze. I don't know, what does that make?
Makes sense to go out and get the sponsors now, the sponsor, and drawing event. It goes in line and then put together our marketing material, sponsors on it. Create some additional.
I might have a copy of last, like the sponsor letter that we have done
The line.
in the past.
I
Just
know
as
I
like a
probably-
can type letter to send, because I don't know if your corporate office needs it, but when we sponsor something, we need the letter
Right.
saying, hey.
I think it's on my computer as well.
Okay, yeah, I think I've got it. Okay, so Karen's gonna take care of the flyer. You're gonna get her the information.
Yeah.
Get you
okay.
my email.
If we can get some sponsors, is it safe to say we're gonna go big? We're gonna do cooler, grill, bundle? Okay,
And we could even go the 350 cooler. It's the most
Mhm.
dominant one that most people get, I guess. It's not the one on wheels, or we could go the larger. It's just kind of,
I say the medium, most popular size is gonna be more beneficial to more people.
3 to 350.
Okay. Only other thing that I was gonna ask about was t-shirts. I did talk to my cousin at Vivid Graphics and Blair, and she threw out all these questions, and I have no idea. Would we want a emblem on like the left and then the big emblem on the back?
We haven't on the others,
Just the small rotary
people might want one.
wheel on the left?
And then we just had like the Rotary emblem, the wheel and Rotary International, and then Mountain Swell below it.
Rotary,
I can send you a picture of one of the shirts.
that would be perfect. Specific colors, are we interested in specific colors? Blue, gold?
Rotary colors.
Uh,
I mean, somebody else might have a.
The blue shirt, gold print? Okay, sounds good. Are we more interested in t-shirts, long sleeves, sweatshirts, or do we want kind of a variety of prices? I told her we're looking at probably a small order. And she said the most popular shirt is the Jersey 50/50 brand. Because I told her I don't like those moisture wicking clingy. I look like a busted can of biscuits. But those things are way too clingy for my liking. So I told her, I said, I think the 50/50 blend would be perfect. So, all right, I will get back in touch with her and just have her throw us together some prices on long sleeve t-shirt, regular t-shirts. Are we interested in like a hoodie or a sweatshirt?
We had fleeces before. That, I love my fleece, but I've grown out of it, although I'm trying to grow back into it.
Yeah, I need to decrease. COVID has caused an increase. We were all panicking when we said we were gonna go back to our dress clothes.
Oh.
No.
I'm like, first of all, I gotta find all my black pants, and I hope my tops fit. If not, I'm in trouble. Okay, that was the only other thing. Does anybody else have anything that we need? Jody?
Jara, the bee thing, for the
Yes.
firefighters, I sent them, they arrived on Monday, I called to confirm it because it didn't come to my place, so I wanted to make sure they
Right.
received it. And they did, and they thanked us, and so all is done with that.
Okay, so our 2 packets that we donated to Karen's, I forget what it's called.
It's
Internet
for,
strength.
the Children's Hospital with the, bee, the teddy bear covers the
Yes.
bags, and then the little bee things that help with the game.
The ice pack and stuff. Okay.
I saw it on Facebook. But
Moundsville Fire Department was the ones that
Mountville Fire
requested.
Department, it's on, it's not on the receipt. Do you need me to get that to you?
No, I just want to make a note.
Okay,
Who we're essentially doing.
oh, wait a second, wait, I took it, it was Children's Hospital.
WVU Pediatric Children's Hospital.
Okay.
We took a
Um,
big picture of it when we donated as well with everything.
Did you
uh,
see Ashley the kid?
Yeah, thank you.
I know it's on our Facebook page somewhere, I can find it.
That's okay, I just want to make.
Okay,
Yeah, but I know it was Children's Hospital, because she's a cancer patient as well, and she wanted to do this for other kids in her class.
Yeah, it was very sweet. It's nice to be a part.
okay.
Just 2 quick things. One, remember, we are not meeting next week,
Very good.
April 21st. Yeah, we are not meeting. And secondly, and I guess this is just a reminder, if there's any runners that are available on Saturday, West Virginia CASA is doing their annual 5K up at the Highlands. It's a good cause, and there are some kid activities up there too. So Registration is still open too.
Where are we gonna register?
TriStateRacer.com. Yeah, I had to think about it because we just did a commercial actually. So it's TriStateRacer.com.
Okay, so I guess we are gonna turn the floor over to Miss Karin and let her talk to us. She's from WVU Reynolds, but I think everybody here knows.
I think.
And she's a she's a former Karenite.
Guys, this is my second time to speak to Rotary in the last 3 years, so I'm so excited to be here, plus a Rotarian. And good news, we have a new COO at Reynolds Memorial Hospital, in addition to Dave Hess, who is our CEO. Dr. Dave is very busy right now, really being more of an administrative body for us for WVU Medicine, but it's kind of a good thing because we need that. He knows what's needed in this area, so he's really pushing that in Morgantown. So that's a good thing for us because, as you know, our healthcare right now in this area is subpar best. It really is. I mean, we need better healthcare. That's just the bottom line. So it is a good thing right now to see WVU Medicine come in and do what they're doing. Anybody here have questions about monopolizing the market though? Does anybody think about that at all? Whenever you see WVU coming in and taking it, over a lot of the hospitals, is it a concern to anybody about monopolizing?
Hello, but I'm a big WVU hospital person, but I've had more conversations. People are more concerned than I am.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people, I mean, to be honest with you, being a journalist by nature, monopolizing the market's not always a good thing. Competition's good. It makes everybody step up their game. It makes everybody work a little bit harder, and it makes you have to have better services in order to survive. So that was my concern whenever I started to find out that WVU was coming in and taking over all these hospitals. I was like, all right, is that going to mean less patient care for us? Are they going to share the physicians? Are you not going to have a physician? Are you not going to have enough primary care docs? What's going to happen that way? I will say it's a conversation that I've had with Albert Wright, who is the CEO of the health system. And I will also say, I'm a Northern Panhandle girl. I'm not a Southern West Virginia girl, born and raised in Fish Creek. I really care about what's happening here for us. I don't care what's happening in Morgantown. And I tell them that all the time. I'm very vocal about that. I said, what works in Morgantown doesn't necessarily work in the Northern Panhandle. You don't understand our market. So let me try to educate you a little bit on our market before you come in and say, well, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. It's not necessarily going to work. So it seems to be right now with Wheeling Hospital just coming into the system, Harrison County Hospital just coming into the system, and Barnesville fully just coming into the system, that what the system is trying to do is ensure that we have our community hospitals still available. Because without being involved in a system, you're not going to survive now. You just can't. It is so strict with rules and regulations when it comes to Medicaid and Medicare reimbursement now. It is too difficult for a standalone community hospital to survive. So Reynolds would be closed. Barnesville for sure would be closed. Harrison, whose census last week was like 2 patients, they wouldn't exist. They would not exist without the help of WVU Medicine coming in and keeping these hospitals, Westwood County as well, open for us. So that's a beautiful thing. I'm waiting to see what happens next. Will we get the world-class physicians that were promised? Because there are world-class physicians at Ruby. There's no doubt. I mean, my life has been saved a couple of times. I just told them, third time hopefully is not the charm for me. But they put me back together again at Ruby. Had a horrible horse accident. Orthopedic folks down there could not say better things about Dr. Ball. Or I was talking about surgery. So we have some great physicians. That's our benefit right now, is that's going to be in network. Those physicians are going to come to Wheeling Hospital and perform surgeries. They're going to, probably Wheeling will be the hub. That's what they're saying now. Wheeling will be our hub for all of the area. But look what's happened to Reynolds in the last couple of years. Has anybody been in there?
Yes. Yeah, it's wonderful.
It's amazing. From when I started, this will be only 2 years for me in May. And when I started, it was just starting to come up. Now we have an expanded emergency department. We have all new board certified emergency medicine physicians. We have the behavioral health unit. We have the desperately needed was also behavioral health in general, not just the unit for inpatient, but when OB closed and Hillcrest closed, what a void that left for us. And I will say now after COVID, more than ever, behavioral health, mental illness should not be a stigma. It should not. My son's 23, one of my sons is 23. I have a 23, 21, and 16-year-old sons. But my 23-year-old son, he told me the other day that he has lost more friends to suicide from COVID, from what has happened, than he knows of people who have died of COVID.
Oh my gosh.
So these people they're not getting help. Two things, there's a stereotype. You can't get help, that makes you weak, especially if you're a man, you know, a teenage man or a 23-year-old. Oh, you're not supposed to be weak. You know, that's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to ask for help. These people are isolated. They are alone. They're scared for their future. And they've been alone for about a year now, trying to learn on their own. And we were just talking about the weight gain, you know, 19 average pounds. That's what the average weight gain through the year of COVID was, 19 pounds. You're not talking just adults, you're talking kids. You know, they're not out of their house. They're not working with other people. We need this behavioral health more than ever right now. So Reynolds is really expanding to try to, you know, accommodate all of this and really bring the folks in this area world-class healthcare, because we need it. We really, really need it. So I could talk a lot about what we have going on there, but I'd really like to hear more from you and your concerns, because you're the members of the community. I will tell you, I was telling you, Dr. Hess is a pretty busy guy. So we have a new COO who wants to join Rotary. His name is Tony Martinelli. He's awesome. He's very full of life. He's not taking Dr. Hess's place by any stretch, but Dr. Hess right now is only there one day a week. So he is just, when he gets there on Tuesdays, it is work from 7:30 in the morning until whenever he leaves, that poor man. But Tony is going to be boots on the ground. He grew up in St. Clairsville, went to Lindsley, started in pharmacy, and has worked his way up, just like Albert Wright started in pharmacy as well. So but he's just full of energy and life, and he is so excited to be here. So I'm excited to have him become Rotarian as well. So I will sponsor him, and then he would love to start attending. He's like, I want to go every week. I was 5 hospitals, so unfortunately Wednesday's a lot for me in Harrison or Barnesville. So I'm like, oh, that's awesome. You could be there, but he wants to be. And he wants to hear from you guys. He wants to know, what more do you need? What are you hearing at the hospital? What are your concerns? What can we improve? So with that, are there anything out there that you would like to ask me about what is happening with the system? I am a corporate person, so I do work throughout the Northern Panhandle. My title is just a regional communications and public relations manager. So I kind of just kind of preside over all of the other marketing folks within the Northern region. It's a fun job, but it's a difficult job as well, because there's a lot of people out there very concerned with healthcare right now, very, as you should be.
Do they life flight a lot more out?
Yes.
Seems like it.
Yes.
Is it all to Morgantown?
Yes.
So
Well, you have your choice.
with Wheeling, will they do less of the life flighting, or?
It will depend. We are bringing in, there are certain situations where no matter what you need taken out, or it's your choice to be taken out. And there are certain situations I would tell you be taken out.
It just seems like
You know, there are.
It seems like there's a lot more than there used to be, but then the hospital is being utilized more.
It's being utilized a lot more, and also, thank goodness, physicians are finally saying there's somebody better for this. They're in Morgantown. That's what needs to be said. There's somebody better for this. And I would highly recommend every one of you in here, if you get one opinion from somebody, get a second. I'm a recipient of that. I nearly died about 2 years ago from a doctor who made a fatal error with me. And I didn't think I was going to live. So had I gotten that second opinion, I don't have colon now at all. It was just a medical error, but it has changed the way I live my life. As you know, so I don't eat lunch here because I can't. So if I would have gotten that second opinion, I might have been okay. So now I tell everybody, it doesn't matter. The first person might be a genius. That's fantastic. Find out from somebody else.
That could have also been a possible lab error as well.
No, it was a surgical.
Surgical.
Yeah.
Because we like to see results on live, but then sometimes, sometimes a chemical can get mixed.
Yeah, I wish that was the case. No, he just cut me apart in the wrong ways. Yeah, he had never done this type of surgery before. He just decided to try it. Let's give it a shot. See what happens.
That's for you.
Yeah. It didn't work out real well for me. But the way I say it is, I'm blessed. I'm here. I'm here. I'm alive.
That's the important thing, yeah.
And I do a lot more than most people who in my situation would be doing, because I'm a one of those positive thinkers. That's just the way it is, you know. I think God gave me a second chance to be here, so I celebrate every single day for it. It made me think completely differently. But if I had any advice to give anyone who is going to a hospital or seeing a physician, or you have something wrong and somebody says, oh, it's this or it's that, you feel in your gut it's not right, get a second opinion. Always do that. Physicians are human. That's the bottom line. They make mistakes. And then some of them think they're gods and they make mistakes. So just always be your own best advocate. That's what I would definitely suggest. But they are flying more people out because, especially with stroke, you know, we can get somebody to Morgantown in 12 minutes with stroke. Here, 12 minutes flying you from that helipad to Morgantown. Anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes, we can get you there. So in stroke, that seconds matter. You know, we can give the TPA for stroke and we can stop the symptoms, but the best people are going to be there. We have a lot of telemedicine now in all of the outside hospitals. So even Barnesville, where you're kind of far away, we can, just like that, if somebody comes in with stroke symptoms, we can pull up the neurosurgeons and doctors from Morgantown, telemedicine-wise, and they can speak to the doctor there and say, listen, you need X, Y, or Z, or you need to get them here right now. So that is very beneficial as well. At the end of the day, it's always the patient's choice. So if you get in an ambulance and they say, well, we have to take you here, no, it's your choice. You can say where you want to go once you get into that ambulance. So I do recommend Reynolds. I really do. Would I say that if I didn't? Nope, would not. Absolutely, because after everything I've been through, it's one of the reasons why sometimes I believe God puts you in places after the fact. I think I'm in healthcare for that reason, because I advocate for patients all the time. They'll send me the letters and say, you know, I had this experience. It was awful, you know, and so I track down every single person who could possibly be within that lineage of care and say, take care of this. And you need to contact them too and let them know it's taken care of, because I've been there, you know. So I think it's just crazy how the world works. Started in television, ended up here. But this is probably where I want to stay, because even though I'm a communications PR person working in medicine, I still feel like I can make a difference every single day. Every single day I can help somebody who may say, well, you know, this is wrong or that's wrong, and I think I might go to this doctor, I think I need this. I'll find them who they need, who I believe they need to see. And then I always say, make sure you get that second opinion. You know, it's not done to do so. And you guys know your bodies. Know your bodies, I think, too, is probably one of the most important messages I can send out. I knew something was wrong with me. And I went to a doctor for a month saying something was really wrong with me. I waited until my colon died. It eventually it died. It was twisted. It died inside of me. So, you know, I waited and waited and waited because I trusted.
So then you went to Morgantown, or did you go somewhere else?
I
I had something like that, and the doctor here they did a procedure in Morgantown. The doctor here, my doctor, didn't know it was a new procedure, and I was like,
Didn't know it
that's
existed, right?
That's it, I'm done.
Well, here's how bad mine was. I went to Morgantown. They were like, whoop, we can't save you. We can't help you. Yeah. So that's how bad it was. It was a bad situation. I finally found somebody who works at UPMC. He's the head of surgery there, digestive health. Dave Medich, genius. He's a genius. He rebuilt some of me. And do you know him, Dave Medich? Oh yeah. I mean, I told Sharon, and I always say this is why I do throw a little bit of God in there. But when I first met with him, it was 2 years ago yesterday. I was crying. I was told by a doctor that, I'm sorry, I can't save you. I can't help you. I can't save you. And I started bawling my eyes out. My father was with me. He's been with me every step of the way. And he said, let me call the chief surgeon, see if he'll take your case. So he did. He called, and I walked into his office with him. And his name was Dr. Watson. He called the chief surgeon. We'll get you in. Let's take you over. I walked in there, and Dr. Medich looked at me, and he's like, your case is bad. It's really, really bad. And I thought, oh, he's not even going to try. And he said, I'll give it a shot, see what I can do. 11 hours worth of surgery. Came out and told my parents, he's like, I don't know how I was able to do what I did, but I truly believe my hand was guided by God. So I was like, that still gives me chills. Still gives me chills, because I was on a prayer chain with my parents, you know, and I had so many people praying for me, and there's a reason why I'm here. But yeah, I went to UPMC. Morgantown has some exceptional physicians, neurology, you know, the neuro science center, the Rockefeller Center there, amazing what they're doing, but they will be very honest about what their strong suits are and what they're not. And they're not GI surgically strong. I will say the head of GI from Morgantown, not surgery, just the GI department, is now at Wheeling, Dr. John Nasser. He's amazing. He is amazing. So if you have some digestive health disorders or problems, Dr. Nasser in Morgantown will see you. He's also the one who told me, I can't help you. I can't do what you need to have accomplished. I have more respect from hearing that from him than anything else. Thank you for telling me. I'm scared to death and sad, but I know I can go somewhere else instead of somebody giving it a shot and see what happens. You know, but I'm here today and I don't know why. You know, I really don't. But I'm so blessed to be here. So I try to be positive every single day. Love the job.
I noticed that they've emptied out the building on 10th Street. Where are they moving it?
Okay, so adult psych is moving to adult and adolescent psych is moving to where Dr. Michelle Fox now is. Her facility, Dr. Fox's facility office is moving down to the old Teletech building. And then we're going to rent more of that space and bring in additional physicians into that area or other service lines that we need. But we were just renting the Jimenez building. It wasn't an ideal situation.
Yeah, I live on 10th Street, so I noticed all the trucks coming and taking everything again, and I'm like, they just put all that stuff in.
Yep. Believe me, I think the behavioral health, we really need behavioral health so badly that we put them wherever we can get a place, you know, because that hospital, I don't even know, that hospital's growing. It's growing. It's wonderful to see. You guys have been inside. Everybody been inside, Reynolds?
Yes.
How about that? The wayfinding signage, everything. I mean, it's growing, it's expanding, and it's bringing, I shouldn't probably say this, but it was made public last week at Wheeling Hospital with our announcement, $10 million last year. That little hospital made $10 million last year. And the wonderful thing that I can say is that's why I don't mind sponsoring, even though I didn't put that in my budget. But at the same time, we need to give back to the community who's giving to us. That's the way I feel. It's because of Marshall County, it's because of the people in this area that we are making the money we are making. So therefore, we need to be very active in our community. We need to be helping. And so that's exactly what I would say to them when I went to them and say, hey, I want this extra, 500, whatever. Okay, what is it for? It's for community because that community is supporting us. So in the future, if there's ever anything you need, even if you're going, to see a physician or you have something that you feel is wrong health-wise, I'm not a doctor, but I've worked in the facilities for a few years. So I can actually, my friends will call me and say, hey, Karin, who's on at the ER tonight? Do you know? And I will call them and find out who's on the ER. And I will tell them, yes or no. I really will. I really will. So, I just was asked the other day on the hillside, hey, Karin, where should I go for? I was like, just give me a call. Let me find, I will call and find out because there's good, there's bad everywhere. And there's great in some places. And so there's great there as well. There's also not so good stuff.
I think one thing that it's hard to convince like the younger people like high school, college, it's hard to convince them that depression is a medical issue. It's not. Yeah, it's like they think they're too afraid to ask for help. I think when they go through it.
All three of my boys went through it.
I went through it too. I mean,
none of them knew it.
I went through when I was in college. It was the best decision I made when I finally just said, hey, I need help.
You need help. But it's the hardest part, especially men.
They addressed that there, they addressed that for the teens.
I remember when
yes.
When I saw my physician for the first time, the nurse told me, and I knew who the nurse was because her son graduated a year ahead. He was like, my son's gone through the same thing, so this is totally normal.
Doesn't it make you feel better?
Yeah,
it makes you feel
it
better.
really does. And
Other people
that there is
through
medicine for it. It's really not you feeling sad. It's a chemical
serotonin, it's a chemical balance. Yep. But these boys are all
medicine for it. That's what
therapy.
Trying to convince people talking and there's medicine for it. A lot of people just they need to talk it out, and then some people it's just there's a chemical imbalance in their brain. They need to be on some medicine.
And
that's what it was.
Admitting it
and
going is half the battle. That's why I think I told my oldest son his really manifested as anxiety more than depression. He was anxious all the time, but he didn't recognize it or understand it. So like the heart palpitations and all these things. He's like, Mom, I'm having a heart attack. There's something wrong with me physically. We took him, we got him checked out. Nothing wrong with him physically, but it was anxiety. He's like, what? He's one of those 4.0 students. I said, you're graduating this year. You don't know if you're gonna have a graduation. He went a 5th year to play ball. He didn't know if he's gonna get to play or not, in college. His girlfriend's, but there's all these things and you're stuck inside, and you can't talk to people and everybody's scaring you to death. So we need what is happening here. We need more. We need to expand. We need to bring in more because right now there's like a 3-month wait to get in there. It's very important. And I always tell anybody, just talk. Talking makes such a difference. And you find strength in numbers whenever you talk to somebody else. I know with me going through everything I've gone through with my digestive system, it is wonderful talking to people in a support group because I say, well, how did you handle it? What did you do here? What did you do there? You know, there's always strength in talking and having friendships. I think that is more important than any drug you
But I think with some people, it's one of the, like, depression, anxiety, it's not something that's going to be fixed overnight. It takes time. And even when you first get on medicine, it's not going to fix it there overnight. It's going to take a while for it to kick in. And, you know, it's just.
As long as you recognize that, you just need to
It's
recognize
a medical problem.
Absolutely.
It is. Some people just don't understand that it is.
A lot of people don't want to, but that's the stereotype that's been with it. And if you had talked, there isn't one person in here, I guarantee, who has never experienced anxiety or maybe depression. Not one. We are all normal. You know, it is normal, it's natural, and I think to keep it inside, that's what my son was doing. He was keeping it all inside. It manifests this way. Somehow, some way, it will come out. It will come out, whether it comes out in different ways for him. It was paralyzing heart palpitations, and he thought he was having a heart attack. It was anxiety.
I'm sure some people need to get up and do different ways. But I'm from Wheeling, in the American Hospital. Can you speak to Wheeling Hospital much, which is now WVU? I feel like Wheeling has always had, at least from my perspective, reputation. There's something wrong with you, cancer, or whatever, something life-threatening, or something where you don't go to Wheeling. Go to Pittsburgh, go to WVU, go to Ohio State. And I don't know if that is more of, like you said, just a physician thing, like a physician ego thing, or if it is more of a cultural issue within the hospital that we can treat and we can do everything here.
I'll speak to that real quick, concerning
Biting off more than they can chew. But
arrogance.
If I have anything wrong.
Arrogance was the problem, in my opinion. This is totally my opinion. Okay.
Oh, just being candid, yes.
Yeah,
I tell my wife, there's something wrong with me. I say, now the WVU, there was anything wrong with Reynolds, but now that with the WVU,
It's okay.
Now they're taking me to Reynolds.
Well, before I used to have a sign on my head that said, take me
me
to UPMC. That's where I was like, yeah, I'm UPMC. There's nothing else. But no, it's in my opinion, it was the old regime who had that hospital with arrogance. Plus, they used it as their own personal cash cow. So it wasn't about bringing in top-ranked physicians in the best medical care. It was about making money and using it and taking it to fund whatever you wanted to. I mean, you saw everything that came out about Bishop Bransfield and what was going on. If you look at the paper trail and you follow everything, that's where the money was going. And then the main goal was to always put OB and EO out of business. Just because it was competition, they didn't like the competition. So instead of thinking about healthcare,
Say go to OB's emergency room.
yes, I never went anywhere but MSTAR. I really didn't. Then I worked there, but now what makes the big difference is WVU, they're not like that. It's not about, of course you want to make money, right? But it's about the medical care.
So do you think you see a cultural change taking place?
Yes.
I mean, you've got physicians that have been there, but you've got to keep that mindset that a physician knows they can't do something.
They're leaving.
Not thinking about, okay, well, I can make money on this procedure. Thinking about what's the best thing.
That's why my surgery was done, so he can make money on me. He should not have had surgery on me at all. I should have been sent right out, but it's money grab. And that's the culture. That was the culture. He's still operating. I've probably saved 7 people's lives from him now. He's still operating at that hospital with.
My sister had said she didn't have it nearly as what you had, but she was getting some doctor. She made her bow.
Probably same doctor.
She sat there this morning.
No.
Okay, but the doctor told her to quit being a wimp, go home. And she's sitting there like dying in the hospital.
Literally, yes.
Literally, and the physician that came in and fixed her. But it was.
Many are
she
leaving.
still never admitted that she did anything wrong.
They want in West Virginia with tort reform, unless you die, you can't. Everybody's like, oh, did you sue him? First of all, he'll never give you back anything, but it would pay for like the probably, close to $600,000 medical bills that I have incurred over the last 3 years. I've been life flighted 6 times. I go now with my small intestine and walk all the time. It's like, so I'm flown all the time, but unless you pass away, if I didn't work, if I didn't try to live a normal life, all these things, I'm deemed as healthy because I live that life. But he has very much tried to destroy that life, but I'll never let that happen. So because I don't let it happen, and I go to work every day, that's against me. That's okay. I'll live with it. But I don't want to live with the fact that he's still doing it to other people. That bothers me. So yeah, they are trying to get those physicians out of there. And if you've noticed, there has been pretty much a mass exodus. That's because they're not paying them over what they're supposed to be paid, which is what they were doing before, and getting them incentives.
They were paying them way too much, more than they should have, and that is with the probably management telling them to do everything here.
Right.
My surgeons.
Well,
They're
yeah,
doing things that they shouldn't.
Exactly. You're exactly 100% right. That's exactly what's right. Keeping everything right in there, all referrals, all surgeries, everything, whether or not it's best for the patient. And they're not doing that now. And we have that. We have a doctor who will say, let's get you to Morgantown, or let's get you somewhere else. And that's a good thing. I'm starting to see that. The surgeons and the physicians they are bringing in are excellent.
So to round it out, yeah, that was when you said about monopolies in the beginning. I said, well, healthcare, I think that monopoly matters. It would be good. Would it be great competition to have UPMC in here too? For sure. But just in our small market,
It's actually
great to
excellent.
have WVU come in.
Yeah.
I applauded. In fact, I finally seen the WVU sign go up over the hospital.
Yeah, I was the same way, Drew. I was like, oh, yes,
My concern too, and this is kind of going with what my doctor's in Wheeling. I lived in Wheeling all those years. My family doctor's there. My my doctors are there. And so because they are, I'm still going to Wheeling Hospital. But if something happens to me in the middle of the night, I live, the backyard is Reynolds. Do I take him, go there for ER, or do I get?
I would.
But do you understand?
Oh, I do.
Because
Check with Karen.
Yeah, call me first.
I have to get a phone number too.
Yeah. Call me first. Honestly, it's what I do. There's no room tonight to do anything. Wait till
I got to make sure tomorrow.
Yes. Sure do. These hospitals are going to be smaller feeder system into our hub, which is going to be Wheeling Hospital. But the good thing is they're sharing a lot of the physicians. So even these people like in Barnesville or in New Martinsville who may have never been able to get to see a physician as good as some of these physicians are, they're bringing them in once or twice a week because they're affiliated with the whole system. So they're kind of rounding in each hospital. So people in Barnesville now have a chance to see a phenomenal cardiologist, whereas before, not necessarily the case. So that's why it is going to help a lot. But yeah, pretty much, why wouldn't you streamline? It's like me. I have 5 hospitals. They sure did streamline that, instead of having somebody be at each one. That's what they're doing with Dr. Hess, Dave Phillips, who's at Barnesville CEO, and Harrison CEO. They're combining those because really it's going to become a more streamlined model and a feeder into Wheeling. So Wheeling has to be great. They do. They have to.
Speaking of Wheeling, the emergency room, you can't get it in 8 hours. It had been 6, 7, 8 hour wait. Doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, the emergency room is
it's
the number one thing.
It should be an hour.
15 minutes fine. Do what I did when I had COVID.
Dying
Just stood on the floor finally. No, I was there by myself. Nobody was there. I couldn't. Reynolds was so packed that I had to go to Wheeling, and nobody was taking care of me, and nobody was even there. So I finally just said, I stood on the floor, picked my mask up, threw up. We better take her back. You think? Yeah, better do it.
I have one last thing that the Menace property, that is going to be a pool.
Yes.
And they are working, they're trying to work with W. Reynolds. To,
Oh, cool. Kind of sponsor maybe? Help out a little bit? Yeah,
well,
because that's going to be a Nate.
like services like you might, like for rehab, things like that.
I thought I had heard that, but then it's been so
Well,
long,
they're
and
gonna
of course
try to
they
open it
moved
up for the
in.
public too.
That's what I heard.
Certain times.
Yeah, wouldn't that go against?
Yeah, Mitchell loved
Maybe it's
that.
gonna be going.
Maybe.
Mira's gonna be going, Mira, maybe. Let's go to Paul.
I told her the water was back. The cream last night, my grandmother said, she had Mimi, I'd come see you.
Aw.
She loves the cream.
But yeah, that's what, with that building, that's what I've heard they're going to do right now, but we haven't really spoken about it too much in leadership meetings, just the fact of trying to get everything out, get everything in two places, and that type of thing, but thank you so much.
Wait, I'm nowhere late, but about Wheeling, every place we've been, like, we go to Reynolds a good bit, like, the doctors at Reynolds, and we love it. Like, it used to be you would never go near that hospital.
No, you swore you went to die.
Yeah, exactly.
We bypassed it, yes.
Literally, yeah, so, but now it's great. But a lot of our doctors are in Morgantown. And Tom's had, I see his shoulder is like rebuilt and his spine is rebuilt. And these doctors are fantastic. But every doctor we've been to, and I mean, it's got to be the WVU, like, train of thought. We feel like we're the only person there.
Yeah.
Like, no matter, we have never felt rushed. We've never felt less than, like everything he's had done, like this spine doctor.
He was a spine doctor. Friends.
Emery. I mean, it's like, he's the only person he's got that day.
And if it's not like that, leave. Leave. If they make you feel like they are doing something for you or taking time out for you or rush you, leave.
Right.
Leave.
Hopefully I don't go to Wheeling.
That's just everything I say to people anymore. You are the only advocate for yourself. You will be the only person who ever will advocate for you is you. So make sure you advocate for yourself. That's my greatest advice I could ever give you. I love where I work. I love what I do. But you are the most important person. So always advocate for yourself. And if you ever have questions you need for me, let me know. I'd be more than happy, especially if you come to the ER.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, guys.
It's funny because Josh was saying about Wheeling, and then you just said, being from out where we were, it was like back
Back in
when
our
I
day,
was,
it was the
you
best.
didn't dare go to Reynolds because bad things happen.
Bad things happen.
And I,
Yeah.
like she said, that's the closest hospital for both of them, but our
I wouldn't
parents
take-
bypassed and we went to Wheeling,
I wouldn't take it home their first winter in his country.
Yeah, and now I had that reaction, an allergic reaction at work. They thought I was having a heart attack because my fingers turned blue and everything. They took me, we were headed Reynolds, or to Wheeling, and I told them, I said, I don't think I'm gonna make it. We poured in at Reynolds, they had me in a wheelchair on a table with an EKG. Before I even realized, I'm like, how did this, they had blood work. I'm like, how did this happen? I've never had triage calls for me before, but I mean, it was like, bam, I was there, I was taken care of. Of course, I was the color of Karen's shirt, my face and everything, but they were wonderful.
They really are. And if they're not, you just, all you do is talk to me and I make sure those
Yeah,
patient complaints are taken care of. That's my job. I make sure
Now,
they hear about your complaints.
we kind of bypass because till we found out what I was having reactions to, the second reaction, I was at home. And again, you got 35 to 45 minutes to get to any hospital,
Time out.
Oh, yeah.
I come down here, they took one look at me again, they had me in,
Yeah.
we figured out it was amoxicillin. It's not nice.